Hello. Whew. It's Monday night. I'm Krista Steinmetz for those of you who just happen to find me here. And I I don't know, kind of a little trepidatious about popping on here. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Leah. Wow, nice to see you girls on here. Oh my gosh. Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Scott. Yay. Hi, guys. I was a little bit nervous about this whole, thinking about my story and hey, Jody, and coming up. Oh, hi, Nicole. Thank you. And there's power to it though, and there's so much that can. Hey, hi, Jody. So much that we can share, and people that hear the message will hear it the way they want to hear it, but I just wanted to share with all of you. And actually I was very kind of thinking about this. I actually wrote down notes, things that I'm going to share, but I thought, well, maybe not tonight, maybe this isn't the night. And then I thought, the kids are here, I have stuff going on. And then my oldest went to go to a friend's house, and then my husband just came up and he's like, I'm going to take the other two kids to the bookstore and to dinner. And then I was like, okay, don't have that excuse anymore. So here I am. And I just, thank you for popping on. Thanks for, saying hello and caring to hear, because I did put that this is my story. This is where I am. And I'm not a public speaker, even though, this is obviously live and this is a public forum. But I've only spoken once in public to like an actual crowd. Thank you, Jody. That's right. I have to hold on to that. You never know who needs to hear what you're sharing. So thank you for that positivity. And I talk often about things and specific things and health and stuff, but I don't do a lot of personal stuff. And, but I'm putting myself out there, and hopefully this does affect somebody in a positive way. And I love the comments and positivity, anything you guys want to chime in. Because we do all have our own story. We all have something to offer to the world, and we all, I grew up with a brother, and my brother's perspective is totally different than what mine was growing up, So it's interesting that we can all go through something that's similar, or even be in the same family and go through something and be a completely different perspective, and see it from different viewpoints. So, hey, Rosetta. So doing something scary is part of life and part of growth and part of just sharing. So thank you. Thanks for the encouragement, Jody. I so appreciate that. Thank you. We'll start just kind of with a basic growing up kind of thing. I won't go through every single detail. Don't worry. I don't want to keep you here forever. But growing up, I always felt loved. I always had the love of my parents. They were always there for me. My mom was super gregarious and fun and life of the party type person, and involved in tons of different things, and volunteered, and she was a teacher for many, many years, and so she knew everybody, like everybody. Everywhere we went somewhere, and we'd find somebody at the grocery store and spend an extra half hour just listening to my mom talk. Now my kids have to do that with me, so I get it. But my mom was just one of those people who she was magnetic, and she attracted people to her, and just fun. And my dad was more reserved. He was kind of a quiet guy, and opposites attract, so, but he was more quiet and very assertive and comfortable in his own skin, and like brilliant, very smart man. And I probably leaned on him a little bit too much that way, but he was just a great influence on my life too. Both of my parents were. They were both super supportive all the way, through their lives, through my life. And somehow I ended up with fairly low self-esteem for a long period of time. I had, hey Kimberly, when I was little, I like look back on those times and, you know, you know, your own perspective is always tougher on yourself, right? So I was not a super cute kid. I had thick Coke bottle glasses, and some of my friends have already heard this. And some of my friends know this because they saw me. But I was, you know, I had these really thick glasses, and I had issues with my eye, and I had to get that corrected. And during that time, I just was so nervous all the time, and I hid a lot. And I think I just got in that habit of hiding all the time, hiding behind my mom's leg, hiding behind my brother, hiding and just hiding, and having that constant insecurity. And it was my own doing, because everybody was so supportive in my family. It wasn't like, you know, nobody was putting me down. You know, when I got called Four Eyes through elementary school, my dad was like, you know, 4 eyes are always better than 2, you know, and always, you know, trying to be supportive of me. And but I ended up living small and being very passive and tolerating a lot of things, and I got in that pattern and in that habit that carried me through high school. And I had I guess it didn't carry me, I carried that type of personality through high school. And I lived behind the scenes. I just did my work and you know, focused on that through school. And then and I put up with a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have, and I won't go into all of that, but there were things that I really could have done better for myself, but I didn't have the self-esteem to do it. And I want people to know that I'm not just this girl that jumps on and does a live and have the, you know, I've always been so confident or anything like that. We all start somewhere, you know, and we all build from that place, hopefully, and grow through things, and, you know, learn that you don't have to be stuck in that same persona and that same place for your whole life. And when I got to college, it was a new town, it was a new place, new friends, new everything. And so I could really start over and be, you know, somebody different, somebody new. And when I was, hey, Alva, going through college, I was, you know, learning all kinds of stuff, but about myself, and, you know, being exposed to a lot of different things. I think most of us, you don't even have to go to college. You can just move somewhere and you start that whole situation, right? So you can just start fresh. And the cool thing is, if you're in a situation and you need a fresh start, you can do that the next day, you know, or right now. You can start fresh anywhere at any time. It doesn't have to be in a whole different town. You can just change your mindset, and way easier said than done, I know that, but through work and through therapy or through friendships or through, thank you, Kimberly, you can change your mindset and become who you want to be and who you're supposed to be. And we all have purpose. So, you know, even after college, I think most of us, a lot of us, struggle with the ups and downs of self-confidence when you get into a new situation and you have to like start at the bottom and work your way back up again. But we get to that place where, you know, you kind of undulate, right? And you're not super sure. But I was surrounded, thankfully, by friends, by family, by, you know, my parents, and now my husband, people who have the tendency to jump in, right? They jump in and go all in, head first, dive, both feet, whatever, however you want to call it. And I have thankfully been surrounded by people that do that. And so I've learned that I can do that. I don't always do it. I do get trepidatious at times, but I can. And so more often than not, I'm jumping in rather than sitting back and just watching the world go by. Something my mom used to always say was, be where you are. And I love that quote. And I have a necklace that says it on it too. Not on right now, but be where you are and be intentional, and take in wherever you are in your life. Things are happening around you, and you can take part, like jump in and stop letting things just pass you by because you're scared. You can't live in a fearful place and ever have something that is going to grab you and take you somewhere, that you need to go. Hey, Janet. So you got to jump into things and let yourself be who you're meant to be, right? And you can't do that if you keep closing yourself off and hiding. So yes, I screwed up plenty of times. I have made mistakes. I have, done things that I wish I would have done differently. And I've grown through those. I go through, times when I'm like, oh, I need to apologize to that person, or I really could have said that better. And I recognize that I am not perfect. I am the last person to claim that I'm perfect. But I also am not somebody that's going to sit in a victim mentality and be a victim of circumstances. I know a lot of people that's a hard place. Stuff happens. Terrible things happen. And things that crush you, like huge blows, those things suck. It is awful. And you have to feel those things to move through them, right? And I am someone who knows all too well that life is short. It is. It's short. You never know what's going to happen. And so when you have the perspective of, I better do this because who knows how long I'm going to have to jump in and get excited about this, whether that's, a new job, a new sport, a new activity, a new have another child, or get married or not get married, or whatever your decision is, whatever that is, know that that's important for you to do right now because it's on your heart and it's something that's weighing on you, and you have to go with your gut or your heart or your head, you have to feel it and move forward. And once you have that perspective, you can become more intentional about the direction you want your life to go. And we're all, a work in progress. That doesn't ever change. We're hopefully, if you're not a work in progress and you're just stuck, then that is, a terrible spot to be too. But you can open your eyes and ask for help and create the environment that you want. Live in an environment that is supportive of you. Cut out toxic people. You don't have to be in relationships or friendships with people who stifle you or make you resentful or, hold you back. And I've been in those places too, and I've had to let go of friendships for my own sake, for their sake. If people come in your life for different seasons and different reasons, but you have to move forward and forgive yourself, forgive them, whatever the case may be, and find the positivity and find great friends, find people that are going to fill you up, find, the honesty that you need, the loyalty that you need, the strength that you need, and the courage that you need. They're all built into you, and just letting those things out without getting too woo-woo on you. I know that I've made plenty of mistakes, and there are probably people who, might see this and be like, oh, remember that girl, she did. Well, yes, I did, and I made mistakes, but I love the quote that when we know better, we do better. So when we know better, and we all screw up, right? And when I screw up, I feel it, to my core. And I'm not one of those people that just blows things off. I feel it. I have to process it. And I probably will have to talk that person's ear off and apologize. But then I know better. And then I learn from that mistake and I do better going forward. And that's obviously something, I teach my kids, and we own it, take ownership for our mistakes and then move through it. And you keep learning, and you have to move through the hard stuff. There are days when I felt like I couldn't move again. Loss is hard. Stuff happens that rocks your whole world. But, and I'm not going to say, I'm not one of those people that say things happen for a reason, you know, and you have to get over it. This was not going to happen. I wasn't planning for this. All right. So, but I do really believe through, you know, personal development and through, sorry. All right. I'm not sorry. This is just part of my process here. But I know that stuff is going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. And I'm not one of those people that say, things happen for a reason. I do feel though that things happen and you can find purpose to grow through those things and support somebody else who goes through that situation, and love them through it and support them the way you wish you were supported. Because if somebody hasn't been through the situation you've been through, they don't know how to support that. You can't expect that of someone, and you can't depend on them to have all the answers or know exactly what to say, because they don't know. And thank God they don't know, because you don't want people to go through stuff that you have to go through. But hard times are hard, and then you move through it, and you gradually become stronger. And you know, I always keep in mind that, you know, life is short, but crap is short. You know, like, that's not a word that I use a lot, but now it's here forever. But really, the really hard times, you know, if you can move one step in front of the other and just keep going, then you can get through that. And it's when you look back at the hard times, you know, you realize, okay, that was a rough window of my life, or a rough period, but it doesn't define me. It's not who I am. I lived through it. I experienced it. Now I can help other people get through something like that. So you have to find the purpose in circumstances. And I love, I heard Rachel Hollis, I love her. She said, what if things happen for you instead of to you? If you have that perspective that things are happening for you to guide you in a direction that you don't even know you're supposed to go that direction. And thank you, Leah. But it's, you know, you get off your path, and then something happens and it takes you in a different direction, and you think, oh, I didn't want this. This isn't part of my plan. But you know what? You're not always in control, right? The universe or God, whatever you believe, they are taking you the direction. And, you know, this crummy thing happens, but, you know, it got you back on the track that you're supposed to be on. And all those crummy things, or all of those great things, and not everything's crummy, but all those great things and all those twists and turns are taking you down your path that you're supposed to be on, and get you to where you're supposed to be. So things happening for you rather than happening to you is a great perspective and a way to look at things, so that you can find the purpose in something. And things like when I'm driving down the road and I'm with my kids and I'm like, oh my gosh, that accident just happened. It's a good thing, you know, one of my kids forgot their jacket and we had to stop and go back and get the jacket and then come back, or else we could have been in that accident too, you know. And you have, whenever we're late for something, because that's kind of where I've been, I really feel like I'm grateful. I know that happened for a reason, there's purpose in that, and that we're on the path we're supposed to be on, right? And so when things happen and somebody keeps coming into my life, or because you know how that happens when people are like, you don't see someone forever and then you see them a whole bunch of times in a row, then it feels like that is a person, okay, I guess I'm supposed to know this person. I'm supposed to delve into this. I'm supposed to create a relationship. Or even like opportunities that keep coming back to you and you're like, I don't want to do that. That's not where I'm going with my life. That's not where I want to be. No, I'm not interested. And then it just happens again. And like, you're doing that too? Okay, fine. Let me hear about it. And you have to, take it in. You have to realize that, that, and this is another quote, and I'm gonna forget, I don't remember who said this, but that, if God or the universe keeps sending you a lifeboat and the lifeboat keeps coming by, and then you're like hoping and wishing and praying that something is going to happen, and then a lifeboat goes by and you don't get on because you're looking for something so specific, and then you just keep missing all these opportunities. Yes, no coincidences. That's right. Yes, contact them. And people talk about that all the time too, that somebody keeps popping in your head. You should contact them. They might need you. They might need you to be contacting them and reaching out to them. You never know what people are experiencing or what they're going through. And if somebody's on your heart, call them or text them or something. Reach out to them, because there is purpose in that. There's something that there's a reason for that person to be weighing on your heart. So, don't let the opportunity go by. Get on the boat. Get on the boat and rescue yourself. Be an advocate for yourself and start paddling as fast as you can and take it for all that you can. Like, be part of it and use the most you can out of that light. Just keep going. And the other, because, sorry, a couple things keep going through my mind. When you don't take advantage of opportunities and then you have the regret and you wish that you had, and I'm talking pretty generically because, there are things like you wish you would have joined the baseball team. You wish you would have, gone to the dance with that boy or that girl. There are things that you're like, oh, I said no and I should have said yes. You can get down on yourself for past mistakes, and obviously you're still on the right path because you're still here and you're still going in direction and making an impact in different places. But when you get down on yourself, you got to figure out a way to fill yourself back up. And you have to surround yourself with people that bring light and positivity into your life. And I know that stuff's going to happen. I know that things aren't always rainbows and lollipops and unicorns and glitter. I know that, but that's not where I choose to live. I choose to live in light and in positivity. And I choose to surround myself with people who pour into me and that I pour into, and I feel that closeness with. And yes, I'm going to come across people who don't have that light, but maybe I'm supposed to give them light. Maybe I'm supposed to pour into them. And in order to do that, we have to be full ourselves. And I brought, I did want to show you, I meant to show this when I spoke the other week. This book, Rise Sister Rise, and this book, Light is the New Black, they're both written by Rebecca Campbell, and these are just daily confirmations that I'm doing the right thing at the right time. And I don't read it in sequential order. I just open it and it says, welcome to the age of light. We were just talking about light. I'm not going to read this to you, but oh my gosh, right now it just says it's safe to shine now. Can you imagine a part of you that yearns bravely to shine big and bright? So I just opened this page. I'm going to have to read that after this. But, and I also have my little Rachel Hollis notebook that I'm going through her Girl Wash Your Face with another group that I have online. And if you want to be in that, let me know. But, I took notes with every chapter, and I look back on this, and I love her outlook on things. And so I'm filling myself up with positivity because that's who I want to be. I want to be a positive person. I want to be light to other people. And I want to keep growing, and I want to, be able to be so full that I'm overflowing into other people, and how, because if I'm not filled up and I'm not being kind to myself and working out, because working out for me is a huge thing. Like I have to release energy and just work things out. And I know that's not for everybody, but for me, that's huge. And so I'm not working out, if I'm not drinking my water, if I'm not, hey, speaking of working out, hey, Bill, if I'm not filling myself up, then I can't pour into other people. And I can't fill up my kids. And I can't fill up my husband, who needs my love and honor and respect. I can't fill up my kids that need me to be a sympathetic ear, or a cheerleader, or a confidant, or whatever they need from me. If I'm not, sleeping and taking care of myself, and filling myself up with positivity and great friends around me, and taking the time for myself, then I can't be more to other people. So I'm constantly striving to grow myself and to be comfortable in my own skin, and remind myself that I'm worthy of that, and reminding other people they're worthy of that. It's we're a community where we're very hard on each other, and we're judgy, and that's sad. So we don't have to be that way, and we can be men and women who are bringing positivity for people and pouring into them, instead of judging them and thinking less of someone. Bring them into your circle and say, and you don't have to be their best friend, but you can say, hey, we're doing a running group. Do you want to join our running group and just, get to know some girls? That'd be great. You might click with someone. It's just a way for us to give back to the community and to create more positivity in our world. So I don't know. I have more notes, but the thing that's so important to me is that things that you did in the past, that's part of your story, and you don't have to ignore that. You don't have to pretend like it never happened, but that's not who you have to be going forward, and hold on to the regret or the negativity or the things that made you who you are today. Those experiences, those things that you went through, the teasing, or the loss, or the, struggles financially, or whatever they might be, they did create the person you are. So they're not bad things. They're things, like, I would never change the things that happened to me, because I'm who I am now because of those things. And they don't define me. That's not who I am forever. Hopefully I'll keep changing, in my my why I'm doing all the things that I do will evolve and continue to change as I grow. And so you have to be your own advocate. You have to be dreaming about big things, and putting those things out into the universe, and working toward those things. I had a girlfriend just today, my friend Jennifer, said, when you're journaling, which I have another journal that I write stuff down in. Oh, I'm looking at it. That's why. That I write things down, like things that I want to come to fruition. So I put them in a statement of as though they've already happened. And I'm writing those things down. I'm saying them out loud, and I'm putting it out and manifesting those things. But, you can't just write it down and then not take action. You can't say, I really want to be in great shape and lose, 10 pounds, and then not work out and not eat well. There's results come from your actions. And so putting it out there and putting that energy out there and feeling that it's going to happen, yes, then, that's how you're going to mentally prepare and create that atmosphere and create that reality. So write it down, say it out loud, and take action, and have a positive mindset. And don't wait for the stars and the moon to align to make this perfect situation for you. It's time now to be the person that you want to be, because like I said, life is short, and You got to live each day and give yourself the opportunity to grow and credit yourself. You are worthy of amazing greatness. You are enough just the way you are, and you can change, you know, as you start feeling like, wow, okay, now I'm starting to feel more confident, and now I'm starting to feel more positive, and now I'm starting to feel like I can fill other people up. You know, those positive changes happen as you evolve and you grow. So really, that's what I wanted to share, and thank you for being part of this journey with me. I hope that this provided some light and some positivity in your life, and I'd love to hear from you. I appreciate, you know, your comments and your positivity, and I'll go back and read the comments. But thank you so much for being part of this tonight, and just for being part of my life. So, all right, I'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure. Thank you. Good night.